Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. And let's continue on our topic. And the topic is solving problems in our relationships. Okay. And one of the things I want to tell everybody is that, be in the conversation. Don't go beyond it. Okay. The way this whole thing is designed by me is that if you follow the conversation and be in the conversation, then we will systematically, smoothly, step by step, take it deep, take it into action. Because there's a lot of gap. I think you must have understood by now that there's a big gap between understanding and implementation. Isn't it? I've been delving into it. I said there's so much has been said and so much we know. I mean, you look at each one of the people, wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary people who are there on this call. Now, you guys are a mine of wisdom and experience and knowledge, right? So we want to take it a step further. So I want you to join hands with me and be in the conversation. And one of the most important things, as you might realize, in any conversation, even if you want to solve problems in your relationships, the most important thing for us to master is the art of pure listening. Art of always distinguishing between what we are actually hearing and how we are interpreting it, and sometimes making it mean something else. Okay. So the purity of somebody's communication we should be able to receive, and we will only do that if we listen. Okay. And it's perfectly all right to tell the other person, look, I missed the last 4 sentences you said. Please repeat it. There's no problem in that. So you guys, is that a deal we have, that you will be in the conversation, listen intently? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
And be in the conversation. See, sometimes you're so busy trying to give a response or your reaction to what, you have a mental reaction to whatever somebody says. So you get into that thought and then you don't stay in the conversation. Or you go 5 steps ahead. Now, have you noticed we are such a hurry to get into solution mode? Now, when you're constructing your house, there is a certain amount of time taken, right, before your roof is ready. Right, Reddy Garu? Once a roof has been put, it takes certain time before you will put a load on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the steps has to be followed. So all you are technical people, you understand what I'm saying. So here we are with our wonderful topic. And I want to remind you every time, it is good for us to remember that what is it that we really want in a relationship. So what are the 3 things? The measure of a relationship is ARC. Yeah. How much affinity is there? How much agreement is there? And how much of communication, free communication is there? That will give you a measure of how good your relationship is. But in any relationship, what is it that anybody would want? Everybody wants that, right?
Support, empowerment, and to make each other stronger.
Exactly. So that's what we want from each other, isn't it? To support each other. So remember, now we are getting into a conversation about resolving relationships. And there's a lot of things you will do even before you get into that conversation to prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally to have a successful conversation. Right? And always remember, sometimes I think we forget this in relationship. We forget that we are there to support each other. We forget that we are there to empower each other. And we are there to make each other stronger. We are not there to make each other weaker. Now, such a fundamental thing, have you noticed that we have a tendency to forget that? Because other things become more important. What are the other things that become more important, do you think? These are the 3 important things: to support each other, to empower each other, to make each other stronger. But in our everyday living together, being with those people in the transactional mode, what is it that becomes more important for us? And that's where the problem lies. So can anybody share with me?
Our egos.
Okay, say something more about that. Our egos.
I am an elderly person. They should listen to me.
Expectations,
Expectations.
certain kind of expectations.
Yeah.
Our shoulds.
Yes.
Because I am older, they should listen to. That becomes more important than.
Relationship.
Yeah, no. What are the three things that I want in a relationship? To support each other,
Yeah. Support each other
to empower each other,
and make other person stronger.
to make each other stronger. That's the purpose. And both parties will forget it inside this game of shoulds.
Yes, sir.
Right? And we start thinking that unless all my shoulds are fulfilled, how can I be supporting each other?
True.
Right? We haven't even clarified to the other person what kind of support I need. I haven't even clarified what kind of support am I willing to give.
Yes.
Right? If somebody is expecting support that every time, if there is a rain and I'm putting my feet outside, you should put a carpet in front of me when I'm walking. That will be the support I want. Would you be willing to give that?
No.
So you know what? We have these funny expectations, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying is there is work to be done before we get into a conversation with those people. Which conversation? Conversation for resolution.
Yeah.
Conversation for solving the problems in relationship. And at all times, see, I'll tell you what happens. When we start a conversation with someone, what is it that is definitely going to happen? By and large, it happens. We get into reaction mode.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because the other person is also listening like you listen. See, suppose you have you start a conversation, listen, I think I want to solve the problem in our relationship. And somebody is getting reactivated. What problem? Why you want to talk to me about it? Why don't you fix it yourself? You are the one who's causing problem. They get into that kind. You want to talk to me about problem? You are the creator of problem. And then there you will go back. Oh shit, they started again. Now what is the use of talking? So you will say, okay, bye-bye. I will talk to you later when you're in a better mood. See, though that reaction can come, no?
Yes, sir.
And when that reaction comes, you will forget what? The first thing you will forget is, what is your intention?
Yeah.
Your intention is what? Tell me.
Support each other.
Yeah, we
empower
want.
each other.
Exactly. And make each other stronger.
Yeah.
And what is the other thing that we also want so that the relationship is not only good, but it's an intimate one? That's the second thing you both want, right?
Yes, sir.
So somehow we need to bring this out into the forefront all the time that, hello, my dear friend, my dear staff member, my dear so-and-so, this is what we want. We want to honor each other. If the honor is missing, we want to restore it. Right? We want to trust each other. We are working together, or we are living together, or we are related by blood, or whatever it is. The desirable thing is that we should be able to trust each other. So what is there that we are not trusting? Can we be in allowance of each other? Can we be in a state of gratitude that we are there in each other's life? Right? And when you start the conversation with the person, if you are not willing to be vulnerable, many people don't get into a conversation for resolution because they don't want to be vulnerable. If we start the conversation again, there will be a fight. If I say I'm sorry, they will be having a higher position than me. See, if you are worried about that, you're not being vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
So if I want to have a great relationship with Kunen, now maybe I insulted Kunen, or maybe I said something to hurt him. I don't know whether I did, or I'm just saying as a sample, yeah, Kunen, not really. So if I realize that maybe I've done something bad, and if I say, hello, Kunen, I'm sorry, I'm noticing that there's some distance between you and me. So I want to solve that problem. And I'm just reminding ourselves that we want to support each other. We want to empower each other. We want to make each other stronger. I have no intention of making you weaker. All right. I would love to have honor, trust, allowance in our relationship so that it's the ideal relationship. Otherwise, what's the point? This is how you can start a conversation. That if we are not having this in a relationship, it is not fulfilling for you and for me, isn't it? We are having a relationship of tolerance. Have you noticed we maintain a comfortable distance? We stay with the same people, we continue to employ them, we continue to have them in our life, right? But we have not made it into an ideal, This is like, suppose you've got a boil on your bum. It's not the ideal state, but you're not going to doctor to fix it. Because you're thinking it will pain if he gives me medicine, will be bitter medicine, blah, blah, blah. So when you're not willing to be vulnerable, you cannot even start a conversation with these people. No? That is the problem. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, before you get into a conversation with the person with whom you want to solve your relationship, first you need to work on yourself. Right? You need to work on your reactive nature. Because if they react and you also react, you will never find a solution for it. You'll have to deal with all the resistance that you are carrying against the other person. See, there is a problem in the relationship. Why? Because you're resisting something which they are doing. Or you're resisting that they are not doing what you expect. For example, you are saying, they don't talk to me respectfully. Okay. Suppose you have that opinion in your mind, they don't talk to me respectfully, and you are resisting that behavior. As long as you're resisting that behavior, can you go forward and have a conversation with them? No.
No.
It will always come in the way, no?
Yes, sir.
Or suppose you have some opinion. See, I'm trying to help him for the last 5 years and that fellow never listens to me. He doesn't even let me help him. Right? Now, if you don't give that up. So one has to look at himself first. Okay, it looks like he does not want my help. It looks like to me. Let me not make a judgment as, oh, he does not want my help. He is a bad fellow. So-and-so is selfish. They are doing for me only because of, they want to get my inheritance. These are all your points of view. It may be true, may not be true also. So when you get into a conversation for solving the problem in your relationship, is it good to carry all this? Like Hasina ji said yesterday, already always listening, that what you believe from before without checking it also. Something you formed in your mind in a conversation you might have had with them 5 years ago, is that going to come in the way of your conversation with these people? If it is, then you might as well not have that conversation. Then let it remain the way it is. So are you getting it? So some stuff you'll have to do before, and some stuff which we will talk about maybe today or tomorrow is what do you do during the conversation? Okay. The beauty of such conversation is they never go in a predictable manner. You can have your kind of a template to skeleton plan, that this is how I will have a conversation. Yeah. But when you are actually having it, be clear, it may not always turn out the way you want it. So don't get flummoxed. So many people know they make nice script and all and they start. When things are not going by the script, then they get paralyzed. So what to do now? Things are not going according to my script. Because in life, never goes according to your script. Na? So before we get into this heavy topic, I'm going to ask Vetrivel to make things lighter. So I give you 5 minutes, Vetrivel, to make the things lighter.
Sir, I'm thinking about the subject very seriously. You're making me.
Yeah, that's why I want to lighten it up. The point is we are making it too much significant.
Exactly. Exactly.
Remember, why do angels fly? Because they take themselves lightly.
Exactly. Can I share what I feel, or you want me to do
Please,
after?
please. You do
Yeah.
whatever you want. I'm giving you 5 minutes. You do what you want.
Wonderful, sir. Actually, 2 points are coming into my mind, which something related with this. I think it may add value. One which I read it from one of the good fellow related to this. He says, when the situation is getting tougher, that is when you have to become more kinder. Then you are a good leader, you are handling things properly. I relate this with one particular example which recently I had. Doctors, when emergency patient comes, he becomes speeder, hurrier. Till then time he could have been sitting, relaxing, listening song or chatting with others. But the moment emergency case comes, he becomes getting into the action, meaning that he has to resolve that, help that student, patient's life. Like that, if problem comes, instead of going to reaction mode, if we becomes responsive that I am going to be more kinder and I'm going to resolve this, then that mode helps. Like that, I understand.
Yeah, beautiful. Because if you get into reaction,
Yes,
you will forget the purpose of starting the conversation even.
exactly.
It will get converted into an argument. See, you don't want to have a conversation to make your relationship worse, no?
Yeah, exactly.
You only want to make it better. So when people react in a certain manner, and you also start reacting, hello, Petrivel, I'm going to pull your ears here. I said, make it into lighter mode. You forgot to do that. Okay, I'll make it in a lighter mode then.
Laughter.
Yeah, exactly. So when I say 1, 2, 3, we will come on. Yeah, it's a serious topic, but you can take it lightly. No, you're not putting your head into you're not standing in front of the, execution squad or something like that. I have to go and resolve my relationship. Oh my God, such a difficult thing to do. Come on, yeah. It's only a relationship. Yeah. You already related to these people. You are living with them. You are working with them. Why are you so scared? Yeah. Come on. 1, 2, 3, go. Start laughing. I mean, learning has got to be fun, right? Learning used to be fun when we were in the kindergarten class, right? The moment you went to the high school, class 1, then you have to be set seriously, don't talk, don't ask questions. Why are you looking like this? Why are you standing like this? Why are you sitting like this? Hello, relax, chill. Take a chill pill. Learning will happen better that way. So significant we become in our head, Relationship. To solve my relationship. You can happily resolve it also. You can remember that song from time to time, Kunen. रोते हुए आते हैं सब हंसता हुआ मैं जाऊंगा.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Reddy Garu.
On a lighter note, if you are to prepare for every relationship like this, what you said, I think it takes lifetime, sir.
Yeah, when the actual situation happens, it will take very little time to resolve it. If you prepare like this. You're right. You're actually very, very right. Two things. First, be light, be happy, be humorous. Right? Remind yourself, why are you having this conversation anyway? Because we want to support each other, because we want to empower each other, because we want to make each other strong, because we want to honor each other, because we want to trust each other, because we want to be in allowance of each other, because we are grateful that these people are there in my life. And I will be vulnerable when I have a conversation with them. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to defend. I have not to prove that I'm stronger than them or bigger than them. They are your relatives, they are your friends, they are your staff. They are not bullies here. When I was in school, I used to get bullied a lot. So I became a loner. People will bully me. So for me, then every time it is I am bigger than them or they are bigger than me, that became more important. So we don't want to do any of that stuff, right? You tell me, how many relationships are screwed up because we are more worried about who's right and who's wrong? You tell me. Yes, Reddy Garu.
Yeah, I think most of the relationships, sir. Why? How many? 90%.
Because who's right and who's wrong? When I'm mediating, I always tell them, yeah, screw who's right and who's wrong. Both of you are wrong, yeah. And both of you are right. How does it matter?
Yeah.
I mean, is it more important who's right and who's wrong, or is it more important that you have a lovely relationship?
Yeah, it's important to have a lovely relationship.
Yeah, but have you noticed that the whole game becomes about who's right and who's wrong?
Yeah.
Who is going to dominate the other person? Right? Who is able to control who? I mean, in a relationship, where is this bloody control drama coming from? Yes, sir. Reddy Garu.
Sir, we have to treat, we have to think about both are equal. And when you give this all honor, trust and all, I think that should be true, sir. But as you said, definitely we have to be prepared or have a fairly good idea how to deal with the other person.
No, even before that.
Yeah.
Clean up here first.
Yes.
Your own
Yeah.
rigidly held views about the other person.
Views, beliefs and all, we have to clear it off and then start a fresh conversation.
And one very important thing, thank you, Reddy Garu, you reminded me one more thing. I think it's very useful to remind our own self that many of our expectations that we have from others, are they realistic or unrealistic? Some of our expectation would require the other person to be like a super person, like God. Some of our expectations from others are so absurd. Even God will not be able to fulfill that one. Yes, sir.
But in my view, I feel that it is possible, sir.
That's which one?
My expectation, I said that yes.
Yeah, I am not saying that it's not possible. I'm saying some of our expectations are totally unrealistic.
Yeah, true.
Like for example, one of my expectation used to be that when I'm in a conversation, I don't get angry.
Sir.
Why are they getting angry unnecessarily for small things?
Yeah.
That's absurd,
Yeah.
My expectation that everybody should be like me.
Yeah.
That is an absurd expectation, right? I have mastered the art of keeping my cool.
Yeah.
I don't get upset about small things. I don't make a fuss about small things. But they have not mastered, no?
Yeah.
Like, in fact, every second day I'll have this little tiff with my wife, I'll tell her, hey, why are you getting worked about such a small thing? So she'll always tell me, I am not you, Sukhdeepak. Then I get it. Oh yeah, she's not me. So I should not expect. Like I used to be like that 35 years ago. If some small thing happens, I'll be upset for 3 days.
True.
Okay? Now, after 35 years, I'm a person. If I get upset, I'll be upset for 10 seconds. After that, I'm no more upset. Okay?
Yeah.
But now I'm expecting from others.
Yes.
It took me 35 years to become a person like this. Now I'm expecting from them. Why you are getting worked up about small things? Okay, it happened in the morning, Baba. Now it's evening. Still you are worked up. They are not God, yeah. So one of the things that we need to do, I think, when we talk about trust, when we talk about allowance, this is what it means. Let them be, Baba. Let them be themselves. They don't have to change themselves and become some Superman in order to have relationship with me. Yes, Vetri.
Sir, related to this, another strange thing is people are getting upset that we are not getting upset.
Yeah, that's another one. How come you become so skilled?
You are becoming robot. No.
You become a what?
Robot.
Yeah, you become a robo. Hey, nothing is affecting you. You become a thick-skinned fellow now. See, that's their expectation. But what I'm saying, before you get into a conversation, you be prepared. Okay, look, they will react. They are human beings, right? They are not going to become Superman overnight. Yes, KP sir, how are you this morning? How is the artificial intelligence business going on? You should make an AI program to implant in our brains, so that we know how to resolve the relationship issues. It should give electric shock every time you're resisting. Yes, please.
I wish that would be possible, sir.
Everything is possible, sir.
Sir, other interferer that I commonly encounter is, when you said you will be upset for 10 seconds, afterwards you will be all right. That is something, it's a great interferer for me, sir. I am with some conversation, say maybe in office, and then when my wife or daughter talks to me, maybe invariably I show up, that anger or upset in that conversation, and the whole mood. In fact, I don't have intention to really fight with them or argue with them. It becomes like that, and it's a chain reaction that leads to something else. This is the other interferer.
See, I learned how to deal with this interferer, by the way. So if I learned it, you can also learn, no?
Right, sir.
Now, in 2006 is when I learned it. It was given the name discretion.
Okay.
I have taught this technique to many people. I think you are also one of them.
Right, sir.
Right. So initially, what happens now for you when you are learning in the beginning how to discreate, it takes a lot of time, right? And feel into the feeling and let it expand, and then you let it go, and then you say, "This is not I. This is my creation." But when you practice it, it takes 30 seconds to do it. The moment you start feeling like that, you just close your eyes for 5 seconds, discreate. So every time, and you know what, Reddy Garu, when you practice that BMM exercise,
Yeah.
eliminate, eradicate, dissipate, biomimetic and biomimetic mimicry of other people's, pathways, abilities. When you do that every day, 2 times a day, you get off your stuff like this, like this. It doesn't last for very long. You don't forget one thing. We are picking up other person's feelings also, no? See, when you are upset with someone, they are also upset with you, isn't it? When there is a problem in some relationship and you're going to talk to them about it, you are picking up all their vibes from them.
Right.
You are becoming worked up. Right? So you have to practice a lot of discretion that by the time you go there to talk to them and sit with them, you are like a clean. You're not getting affected by their mood.
Okay. Right, sir. Yeah.
That is why I'm saying before that only we have to do so many things. Now, initially, some of you may find hard to do it by yourself, correct? So you can always talk to somebody like me and say, hello, I'm going to have this conversation. Can you clear me? It's called a clearing.
Okay.
Yeah. So you work with someone, they clear you. I'm feeling upset with them and I'm feeling that they are not going to listen to me. And I'm feeling that they will again react exactly the same old way. I'm feeling that many times I've tried it. So someone who's expert, he will clear you. So when you go, you are clear. You are not going with your baggage with you, no? Normally we are carrying our baggage, no? A lot of baggage. I don't want to let go my baggage. They should let go first. So there's a competition. Who is going to say sorry first? If I want the relationship, they should also say that they want it. No. There are two sides. I cannot be giving my hand and they are not extending. I said they are not extending, hold their hand and catch it. No. Don't you do that with certain important people in your life? They're not giving the hand. People who are married, they know very well, when wife is upset, you try to hold her hand, say, tell them, go away, don't. So what do? You give up, huh? No, you don't. If you have got some brains, don't give up. The more they do like that, the more they want, come in, hug me, hold my hand. But when you try to do that, that's why I say you need to work in advance. So you're getting a coaching from the master with maybe 4 decades of experience in how to screw up the relationships. The person who screwed it up the most is the best teacher, because he's learned many things the hard way. He's learned so many things in the hard way that now no more hard is remaining. Okay.
Sir, on a lighter note, maybe KP needs one-to-one coaching, sir.
KP is a great guy. He just likes to discuss. He understands everything. He's pretty quick. He doesn't trust his own understanding. That's the problem, because he's in artificial intelligence, no?
Maybe I have to put it in practice. Theory is fine.
Sit down with him and create an artificial intelligence program, right? People are becoming so lazy. Everything is done by their phone. Correct. So we'll have to create an artificial intelligence program. Then it starts. Okay, I'm here to remind you that we should be in a relationship. We have to support each other. We have to empower each other. We have to make each other strong. Okay? And that one going on playing in your brain. Programming thing. We are here to support each other in our relationship. We are here to empower each other. We are here to make each other stronger, not weaker. We are here to dominate the other person. We are not here to be right. We want a relationship, not right. So you can make some sort of a program, right? Programming the brain, yeah? Every time they get into judgment mode, they should get electric shock. They'll remember, oh, I'm judging. I'm judging. Then they'll not judge. Correct? Then there should be another one which we will give to Kunan. The moment he becomes serious, he then starts looking angry. You're looking angry. You're looking sad. You're looking like a victim. Because we have our default mode. Then for Rama, we'll have to have another one. You're not visible. Make yourself visible. You're not talking, you should talk. For Shakti, we have the same.
For Rama's mind also, you can add one more electric.
So we can make such an app, For other people, you'll have to put another buzzer which is, again, you're going into the complaining mode. Do you notice how much work we need to do on ourselves? You understand the value of what we are doing here every morning, getting out of our default mode? Because this is exactly what we are doing all the time without even knowing it. So I'm the buzzer. Every morning I come here, Vetri comes here, Rama comes here, Kunan comes here, and we come and say, don't get into the default mode. Don't get into default mode. We'll have to make a loud one also. Don't get into the default mode. Sometimes the brain fog is too much, na? वो बोलते हैं ना कुने बुद्धि कुंद हो जाती है,
भ्रष्ट हो जाती है.
हाँ, क्या बोलते हैं उसको?
बुद्धि भ्रष्ट हो जाती है.
भ्रष्ट हो जाती है. So उसके लिए होता है like they have the siren, no? All right, so let's move ahead. I'm doing it in small doses so that you guys are going to actually follow what we are saying. बाप रे, कितना प्रोग्रामिंग करना पड़ता है तुमको. Acha, by the way, before you get into any conversation, it's a good idea to recognize what are the interferers. Okay? Because you all of them have it. So we already talked about some of the interferers. Now, to resolve your relationship, the only thing that is available to you is communication. Okay? And what kind of communication will it make it possible for you to resolve relationships? What kind of communication do you need to practice? What kind of speaking? See, when we use communication, let us be very clear what I mean by that. What kind of speaking will you have to do? And what kind of listening will you have to do? So think about it. Now, what is the intention? First of all, being very clear about your intention. What is the intention? That whatever issue is there, whatever problem is there, I want to resolve it. Why do I want to resolve it? So that we are able to support each other, so that we are able to empower each other, so that we are able to make each other stronger. That is the benefit of a relationship. Right? Then what is the other intention of the communication? To restore the honor, to bring in the trust, yeah, to bring in allowance. Allowance, that we both are able to agree, okay, this is something which we can have. This is the way we are. And it's all right to be like this. To bring back the feeling of gratitude that you have these wonderful people in your life. And to remind yourself that if you want to achieve all these things, you will have to be vulnerable with these people. They are not your enemies. They are a part of your life. So why are we putting up defense mechanism with these people? So that's a question for you. Now, we are in relationship with these people with whom we have problems, correct? You don't have with anybody else. So my question to you is, the people with whom you are already related, what is the need of putting up these barriers and defenses and not being open? Can you tell me?
Sir, it's because of the expectation, two types of expectation, expecting them to do what we expected and not meeting out their expectation. When they expect something from us, because we sit in our own comfort zone, that we are not meeting out their expectation.
Okay, so that's what makes you go in the defensive, is it?
Not only that, and also, pointing out that it is me who is right all the time. That is another one.
Okay.
And not ready to accept what they are trying to say, or not ready to implement, even if it is right, because considering ourselves that we are always right.
So that is the stuff that we carry, right? I am right. They should fulfill my expectations. I will fulfill their expectations when I feel like it, but they should always fulfill my... All that is there. My question is somewhat different. What is it that we are having that we are not allowing ourselves to be vulnerable with those people with whom we are already related? Why are we treating them like they are some enemy? We want to have defenses with enemies, right? You want to have defenses with people who are threatening people, right? Dangerous people. So the people with whom you are having relationship and people with whom you are, having a problem, are they dangerous people? Are they going to harm you? Are they going to damage you? The purpose of being in your life is to damage you. No? Then why is the need for us to put so much defenses? Why is the need to not tell the truth to them? What is the need to hide our real feelings from them? What is the need to not communicate clearly with them? So I'm talking about vulnerability. Why are we wanting to have defenses with the people in our life who are actually not a threat to us at all? Tell me, these people in your life with whom you have problems, are they a threat to you? See, at least in the job, you can say, no, I might lose my job. if I ask him why you are not giving salary on time. At least there you can feel, okay, there is a threat. But you tell me something, even in a job, if you're a good employee, you're giving good business to your employer, is there a threat? Because he wants you, because you're a great guy. If he loses you, it will take him 3 months to recruit another one. It will take another 3 months to make him productive. Why would he want to lose you? In the same fashion, the people who are there in your life, if they wanted to leave you, they would have left you by now. If they wanted to kick you out of the house, they would have done it by now. Isn't it? So where is the threat? Then why are we behaving with them as though they are a threat and we need to have our armor plate, armor that they go, when they go for battle, they are wearing it. So what is the need for that, I'm asking? Because these conversations never start unless you're willing to be vulnerable. You will never have an open conversation which you need to have, I'll give you an example. It's a very interesting example. There's this young lady, okay? And I mean, her mother was a student of mine, just like you are. So one day she says, Sukhdeepak ji, big problem. My daughter has come for visiting from Bombay and my husband is not talking and there's a lot of tension in the family. Please help me. I said, okay. So I went to their house. So I said, what happened? No, they're not talking to each other. She sits in her room, he's there. She's here only for 10 days and they're not talking to each other. I said, so what's the problem with that? Arey Baba, the father and daughter were very close. Something has happened. Both are not saying what has happened. Wife is like really stuck, okay, what to do? So I went and asked the father, I said, what happened? Arey, such a big thing has happened. She has not told me. So what happened, Baba? Arey, she's making an idiot of herself. She's going to ruin her life. How can she do such a thing? And blah, and blah, and blah, blah. I said, hello, but what happened? He said, no, she's just come and told me she wants to get married to a foreigner. She's a bloody idiot. She has no brains. She doesn't know what's good and bad. I said, sir, I remember that your daughter is an MBA from IMM Ahmedabad and she's a news anchor for a big channel and all these things. She's a kid. She's staying alone in Mumbai, no? He said, yeah. So she's an idiot and she's staying alone in Mumbai. She does not know how to look after herself, but she can stay in Mumbai alone. So I said, sir, tell me, if you are feeling so strongly that your daughter is like this, why did you send her to Bombay to do MBA? If she's an idiot. So then he kept quiet. He says, no, actually, she's a very brilliant girl, She's my daughter. She's very good. She's very intelligent. This, that. Acha, she's very intelligent. All right. But she doesn't know how to look after herself. I said, then why you are allowing her to work in Mumbai and stay there alone? No, she knows how to look after herself. So I said, you are contradicting. 5 minutes before you said she doesn't have brains, she cannot make right decision. No, but she doesn't know, these young girls, men are like this and men are like that. And they have taken advantage of her and she doesn't know how to, she doesn't know these things. I said, yeah, she can stay alone. She can study MBA. She can work alone, live alone, but she does not know these things. Okay. Then I went and told the daughter. No, he says that, I don't know how long this is going on. She's coming and telling me now. And she was so close to me. She used to tell me everything. Now she's not telling me. So I asked her, I said, Beta, what happened? Why didn't you tell your father about this? So she said, uncle, until I am sure that I want to marry the guy, why should I tell my father? First of all, I have to be sure, no, whether he is good enough or not. Now I am sure that he is good for me and I am going to marry him. So I have come to ask my father's permission. That's all mistake I have done. I said, okay. So I got them to sit with each other and they were sitting. Both doesn't want to talk to each other. So I told Papa, I said, she's your ladly daughter, remember? You remember the little one whom you used to carry in your godi? Yeah, I used to carry on my shoulders like this. Now what happened? She's become Bhoot. She's still your daughter, no? I said, hug your daughter. Give her a hug. Babre, what a drama that fellow made, 15 minutes it took me to just get him to hug his daughter. Then when he hugged his daughter said, Papa, at least you should have listened to what I wanted to tell you, no? I didn't tell you before because I was not sure. You only taught me, no? I have to be very careful in making my decisions in life. And why should I come and tell you before I have decided? No, you always consulted me before. This time you never consulted me. Come on, Papa. How can I consult you about my love life? Papa says, yeah, that makes sense. Then he was willing to listen at least. Okay. Then she told him that he's a guy from England, And father has got his mental images about what these foreigners are like, The moment you say foreigner, he's seeing hippie. She said, no, Baba, that fellow's father is owner of very big pharmaceutical company in UK. And he's a senior vice president of our bank based out of UK. And if I marry him, I'll have to go and live in the UK. Well, then the father agrees to meet the boy. Then they got happily married. What was the thing stuck on? What was the issue? Was it a big issue? But most of our issues are so ridiculous ones. Hello? Wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary people who deserve to be loved and respected for who you are. Sometimes it's good to remember, the beauty of the relationship, the importance of the relationship, why these people are so important for you. They're important for you, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
If they were not important for you, it would not be bothering you at all.
True.
Why they are behaving this way or that way. And you are also important for them, by the way. If that was not so, they'll not be upset. It's very easy nowadays. If somebody doesn't want to work with you, they'll resign and go tomorrow.
True.
If your child doesn't want to live with you, they'll go and live in England or in Timbuktu or wherever they want. And even in any case, you have noticed that even the relationship is very good. People have very little time to talk to each other, no? Those people, those parents, whose children are with them, you do not know how lucky you are that they're in the house. But your complaint will be, but they never get time to talk. They're always on the WhatsApp. They're always doing computer. But at least they're in the same house. You talk to parents whose children are not in their house. I say, why can't you stay in the house? We got a big house. We got so many bedrooms. I'll give you one floor in the house if you want it. No, but I don't want to stay with you. Why? No, I don't know. But such things happen, right? So before we even get into that situation, I want you to start thinking, what kind of communication will I have to have, right? What kind of speaking I will have to do? What kind of listening will I have to do that will allow me to restore my relationship and make it even better than what it was? So let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of speaking will you have to do? What kind of listening would you have to do so that you can have a wonderful relationship and take care of whatever this stupid problem that is there in between? So now the time for you guys to talk. Question is very specific. What kind of speaking will you have to do? And what kind of listening will you have to do?
Sir, I will ask. I know you got some views about so and so. either X or Y. Can you help me understand the issue so that I'll be able to take a conscious decision?
Is that what you will say to that person?
Yes, sir. I just defend the issue and then ask his opinion or his views.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's one of the ways that I will be showing more interest in what they have to say. I'll be showing more interest in knowing their. That is one of the way to listen. One of the way to talk. How else would you be speaking if you want to resolve a relationship? Major Saab has given one good idea. Yeah, somebody else. Hasina ji, please mute and unmute only when you have to speak. What kind of speaking will you have to do and what kind of listening would you have to do? So start thinking. Now think about your particular issue.
Sir, from my personal experience, what kind of speaking I'll be doing before that, I have to do speaking because I get into my own kind of a withdrawal mode, flight mode, where I think that that's a better solution. You be there, I be here. Let us have this distance. Now I realize that before getting into what kind of speaking I'll do to resolve the problem in the relationship, I have to do speaking. I have to convince myself that. Thank you very much.
Convince myself about what?
Speaking. I have to initiate speaking. Then I have to learn what kind of.
Now. Because so much hesitation is there even to talk, right?
Yes, sir. Convincingly, I'm saying myself that the distance is safer. You be safe, I be safe.
Yeah, I know. But do you notice that that you be safe, I be safe? That is a defensive.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So my question is, what are you protecting yourself from?
Yeah.
So that's a question I'm asking. What are you protecting yourself from?
I'm not becoming vulnerable. I'm not ready to open up.
My question is, what are you protecting from?
Maybe my point of view.
No. Think again. You are trying to protect yourself from something, right?
Yes.
Why are you not talking?
It may not be protecting, sir. It may be fear that something else.
Protecting yourself only, no? If fear is.
Yeah. Just a second. Sorry, sir.
See, you're protecting yourself from fear only, no? So you have the fear because you are afraid. What are you afraid of? There is a fear, I know that. Correct? You are in protection because you have fear. So my question to you is, what are you afraid of? What will happen that you are afraid? Your mind is saying something, right? If I talk, this will happen. If I talk, that will happen. That is what you're protecting yourself from. So you tell me, what are you protecting yourself from?
My own interpretation and.
No, again, be specific. What are you afraid? Correct, I got it.
They may misunderstand. It can become worse.
They may misunderstand. What they will misunderstand? If you are afraid that they will misunderstand, then you will have to be clear when you communicate. That is useful so that they don't misunderstand. See, you are not able to speak that real thing about which you are afraid. Do you notice that?
Now I'm getting little, sir. Why I'm not getting, it's not fear, it's not afraid, something like that. I am just protecting my judgment. I'm not able to open it like these guys are like this. If I speak, this will happen. Or else these guys are like this, so that I keep distance. Some kind of a judgment me on them is like making me.
Conversation, you will have to maybe give up your judgment.
Yes, I get it, sir. Thank you very much.
That whatever you're thinking about them till now may be proved wrong. They're not like this. I was thinking they're like this. Oh, actually, they're not like this. Yeah, that might happen.
Correct. Thank you.
Wow, this is a good one. Like, you are not willing to be wrong. I want to be right. That's what you think. I have this opinion about so and so. And if
And that needs to be right.
I might have to change my opinion. I don't want to change my opinion. I want to be right. So I'm going to let the problem remain. Is that what you're really afraid of? Anyway, you don't have to tell me. Think about it. So great. Thank you very much. So you'll have to give up your fear. You'll have to give up your fear of losing your judgment about the other person. You'll have to give up the fear of being wrong. So many things. So what kind of speaking would you need? Okay. So now listen, you guys have to do this assignment and come tomorrow. What kind of speaking will you have to do? What kind of listening will you have to do if you want to have a solution to your problem? So I know many of you have got a real big problem on your hand. At least the problem is causing you a lot of sleepless nights. Correct, Hasina ji? So what kind of speaking and what kind of listening will you have to think and come to?
Okay.
Yeah, you got 24 hours to really fine tune it. What kind of speaking will I have to do? What kind of listening will I have to do? Yeah, because the more specifically you think, the better it will be for you. Yes, Kunan sir.
If you allow me, just wanted to ask one question, sir, quick one.
Yeah, certainly, please do.
Because you mentioned the ARC, that affinity, relatedness, agreement, or communication is the measures of relationship. So I believe that it all starts with affinity, and with today's generation, the example what you gave. So what is the reason that affinity gets?
Are you asking a question?
Yes, sir. What is the reason that affinity gets eroded, and then we lose other elements?
Sir, when you are not in agreement with people, that's what happens, right? Affinity gets eroded. When you're not in communication to resolve your differences with others, communication gets eroded. Affinity definitely gets eroded, no? When there is no honor, affinity gets eroded. When there is no trust, affinity gets eroded. When there is no allowance, affinity gets eroded. When there is no gratitude for the other person's presence in your life, affinity definitely gets eroded. And when there is no affinity, you cannot be vulnerable. Na? If affinity hai nahi, so the other person is against you, then you feel. Either somebody is very close to you or that person is not close to you. And the people whom you don't feel very close to, you put them in a box and you maintain a comfortable distance. उनको भगाते भी नहीं हो जिंदगी से और पूरी तरह अंदर आने भी नहीं देते हो तो चौखट पे लटके रहते हो लोग. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's a beautiful question. That everything that we are talking about here in this call, the last 2-3 calls, are only to take care of the things which are removing the affinity from our life. Na? हमें तो चाहिए ना. दूरियां मिटानी है ना. तब दूरियां मिटेंगी तो नजदीकियां आ जाएंगी. पर हम आने कहां देते हैं? But we've got so many bloody conditions attached to it, you know. नजदीकी तब होगी जब तुम मेरी बात मानोगे. नजदीक तब होगी जब हर एक बात से सहमत होगे. नजदीकी तो तभी अलाउ करूंगा मैं जब मेरे आदेश का हमेशा पालन करोगे तुम. तब तक नहीं करूंगा. That's why I said, a lot of work has to be done before. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the wonderful question. And we shall continue this beautiful conversation. Hopefully, in the next 2 conversations, you would have become quite smart in handling your relationships. And once you do, I'll send you the
Sir, I wish I can come tomorrow because I've got COVID.
So what COVID did tell you that you can't be on an online class here.
No, I can be, but if I'm not okay,
You better make sure that you're.
please pray for me.
I'll send you a lot of energy, and all of us. You tell it to everybody. Everybody send lots of energy to Hasina. You
Please,
remember
thank
energy. You're going to be perfectly all right.
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and please, Darshana also that she's being missed over here.
Ma'am, I'm also a COVID survivor. Please don't worry. Please take a lot of proteins in your food. Protein content food.
I do. Thank you.
Okay, along with Tulasi water and Hachmola water, all this will definitely work out. I'm also a COVID survivor, so
Okay.
no need to worry about that.
Not worried, but if I have fever or something, I don't know.
Hachmola water, warm water.
Okay.
Hachmola.
What
Okay.
is
Take.
I don't know what Hachmola is.
Hajmola. You don't know what is Hajmola?
So how do you make water of hajmola?
By mixing it with the water.
Sorry?
Hot water.
You take a Hajmola ki, mix it in the water, hot water, and drink it.
No,
Okay. Hajmola.
you can boil with hajmola, and then you can take that water in, and then take more and more protein.
Yeah, I take a lot of protein. I do take protein.
The same only I also did
Okay. Thank you.
continuously.
Yeah. And be open to receive lots of energy from all of us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, one and all, thank you very much for being there. Thank you for participating. Thank you for listening. And well, let's see you again tomorrow morning, ready to begin. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye, sir.